Hello, everyone. So I just saw this response, a comment that someone did on a video that I put out. This is a video which talked about the unfortunate incidents where a general, former DG of NYC, has been abducted. Was abducted in Katsina State, I think Ankara local government, a town called Iga or something like that. And then he said, I'm going to place it on the screen. You'll be seeing the comment. It says, Nigeria can't reach me. I'm done with Nigeria. And he put this laughing emoji. And I just did a response to him. I said, don't underestimate the capacity of Nigeria to deal with its citizens. I think that's one thing that a lot of us, we don't realize. That no matter how far we've run away, Nigeria has capacity to deal with us wherever we are. And that's the reason why, you see, when we talk about staying, saying, not just staying, just talk about Nigeria and making it work. It's not that, let some people put, oh, it's just that filter exercise and everything. I did something recently where I said to people, just think about you. What I did, like an advocacy that I did, and I was like, and to the Nigerians that are going to live to 90. So whatever your age is right now, look at it. If you're going to live up to 90 years old, how many years do you have as a Nigerian? That is how long Nigeria has to deal with you. And it can be that you are abroad, you've gotten citizenship, you're no longer in Nigeria, you're living abroad, you're doing this, you're doing that. Still, Nigeria has capacity to deal with you. There are people who are no longer they no longer live in Nigeria, they live abroad. And I'll give you some quiet example. Like when the Owo massacre happened, I think there was a family that had just come in to come and visit their grandparents. There was children that were brought in. That was their first time in Nigeria. Guess what? They were massacred. They were amongst the people who were massacred. These are people that would have thought they have left Nigeria, that Nigeria can no longer do anything to them. But somehow it came to them. There are a lot of stories, and I'll give you one. There's one. It's even my husband's either classmate or schoolmate, like Old Boys Association. This guy comes almost every year to Nigeria to come and spend, Christmas. He has this thing. He's a U.S. citizen. His family are there, whatever. He was on the way traveling back to Lagos, on that from Edo State, going to Lagos, and he was kidnapped. And it was so gruesome, the way the whole kidnapping story, the way he was murdered. They murdered him. There are stories of people coming in to visit, one thing or the other. I think even Dora Akunyili, I think it wasn't her sister that came to visit. She was sick, and then she was insulin. They gave her fake insulin and she ended up dying, or is it malaria tablet? There are so many stories. And sometimes it's not even just about you. It's about the relatives you've left behind. It's about the people you've left behind. It's about your parents, your siblings, your friends, your something. And let's even take that all out, you understand? Sometimes also, it's about the fact that you're Nigerian, but because you have that dual citizenship, it also affects where you are. Let's even assume that some people have been able to leave Nigeria with all their families. They don't, all their friends, they don't have anything. They will never come to Nigeria again. They will never do anything. There's also a way that Nigeria has a way of still dealing with you out there. So what I just want people to understand, and I'm not saying this because I feel that, oh, you need to come and work on Nigeria, or you need to come and work on reviving Nigeria. No. There are people that cannot deal with Nigerian issue, and for me, I'll advise them, just focus on what you're doing and just remove your mind from it. Don't let it also bring you down that you're gone. But the thing is that, don't ever forget that this Nigeria, the system, how bad the system are and stuff like that, that they also have a capacity, to be able to get you wherever you are. So if you know that, you'll be on guard and not just think that, oh, I've escaped, hi, bye, I've escaped. Nigeria is that deadly. So for me, when I see things, because maybe one of the things with me is the fact that I'm someone who, I'm like, they call it, I think they call it an empath. I'm very empathetic. I feel like literally put myself in that situation. Like we have one story that has just happened now. A lawmaker who was killed. They were able to find his body. His body has started rotting, and is it Anambra State lawmaker, something like that. His body was already rotting. The people that kidnapped him, they've just arrested them. The police have arrested them. There's a nurse involved. They took 100 million out of his account, yet they killed him. And they say young people who are not up to 30. And there were other people, of course, who were dead, and then so you see, they will kidnap, they will still collect that ransom, they will still kill, they will still do all sorts of things. This is a lawmaker that will probably feel, okay, he has security around him, he has this around him, he has that around him. That's the craziness of Nigeria. You just can't say you've escaped it for good. It just has a way of that deep tentacles. And so for me, the thing is this: for those who can, there are those who, you can say you're either retired, your kids are grown, or you don't have long to live on this earth, or you just want to give back, or you want to give back to society, you want to do something. There are people who have free time on their hand. There are people who have a cushion, like a financial cushion. There are people who can talk. There are people who can add a voice. Let's focus on building Nigeria. There are some who cannot, and it's okay. I tell you this, there are some who, I kid you not, they really cannot focus on Nigeria, because if they focus on Nigeria, Nigeria will end up bringing them down. So for those, feel free. If you have to leave Nigeria, leave. If you want to just focus on your business and whatever it is that you are doing in Nigeria, do it. But what I want us to understand is that please, 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 don't you ever underestimate Nigeria. Because if you have an enemy, and you underestimate that enemy, you make yourself a very easy target for it to bring down. The Nigerian state, the corrupt Nigerian state as it is an enemy of its people. Yes. So therefore, you must look at it and say, don't put your guard down, and then you do everything that you can in the capacity that you can to ensure that things work. That's all I have to say. I just saw that this and I just laughed. I'm like, don't think you've escaped Nigeria, because Nigeria is that deadly. I tell people a lot, we are all victims waiting to happen. That's why I always say, there's this quote of mine that I say that people quite use it a lot. And sometimes when people hear it for the first time, it stops them in their track, and they're like, what? Wait a minute, it's true. And I started using this quote since 2014. And it goes like this: yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. And tomorrow's victims will be today's survivors. You and I are today's survivors. And the question is, who is next? And I also used to add, those who have died will not be killed again. The next to be killed are those of us that are alive. And I also add, being a victim in Nigeria is no longer a matter of if you will be a victim, but when will you be a victim? Because the victim card is going around, and it's done by John Nigeria Limited. Thank you for watching. Bye.